Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for watching another one of my videos. I truly appreciate it. Uh, I hope you are having a great week. Today is Friday, November the 14th. It is a nice day today here in Northwest Arkansas. It's 73 degrees and uh, sunny, and we had a cold snap for a few days the other day, and got down in the teens and 20s, and but it's back up 70s with the lows in the 50s and low 60s now again for a few days, and then it's going to rain for a few days and get cool again. But anyway, today I wanted to talk about the wind. It's windy today, and this time of year I pay a lot of attention to the wind. Even in the spring, summer months, I pay attention to the wind. I fish, the wind-blown banks, but I don't really pay attention to as much. I do some, but not as much as I do this time of year and the winter time, to how many days it's been blowing the same direction. If say you had a cold time, had a week or two that's been cold, and then all of a sudden you start getting a south wind, and you've had a south wind for 3 to 5 days, I am looking for pockets on the north side where that wind has been blowing into the backs of those creeks and ditches and pockets. I'll look for the areas. I look for the areas that's 20 to 40 foot deep, and then where it comes up into the shallow, wherever that last deep water is, and where it starts shallowing up, that is where I am going to be fishing this time of year. That back part of the pocket. I don't even shut my boat down until I'm at least half to 3/4 of the way back in the pocket. If I know the pocket pretty well, I don't shut down until I'm back there where I want to be. If I'm not familiar with the lake as much, then I've kind of just got it on cruise. Turn my graph on and watch the water depth, and once it gets that last 20 to 40 foot of water out there in the middle of that pocket or creek channel, whatever you're in, that's where I'm going to start shutting down and looking for those flats. You can get on Google Earth and look, and when you know which way the wind's been blowing, look on Google Earth, find those pockets and creek channels and cuts or anything that's in the bank where that wind's been blowing into the back of that for the past. I don't like going. I have more confidence when it's been blowing at least 3 days in that same direction. It doesn't matter if it's blowing to the north, south, east, west. If it's been blowing at least 3 days in that same direction, then I'm going to be looking at the pockets where that wind's been blowing into the back of those pockets. It doesn't matter if it's the south side of the lake, north side of the lake, or whatever. It depends which way the wind's blowing. But I'm just using the south wind as an example, and I'll be getting back in those northern pockets and finding where those flats, where it shallows up, where the flats start, spawning areas, spawning pockets, spawning bays, right there where just fish right there where that shallow water meets that deep water, and you can usually find you a decent amount of fish in those areas. I like I like it if it's a 45-degree bank or steeper most of the time. This time of year, sometimes I can find them good. Even in the coldest months, sometimes I can find them up just dirt shallow and catch them up dirt shallow. But it seems for me this time of year, especially here in the Ozark Lakes, that if I'm fishing 45 degrees or maybe a little steeper, that's where I catch most of my fish. Throwing the crankbait, digging that crankbait through the rocks, gravel, boulders, just bouncing that crankbait off of objects. Spinnerbait works really well, especially if you have a lot of laydowns, stumps, boat docks, any kind of cover like that, or you can work that spinnerbait around it. Spinnerbait works good. But for the most part, this time of year, I will have a crankbait in my hand. I'll be covering water. Crankbait or a jig, one of the two. I'll be looking for points in the very back there near that area where the deep water meets the shallow water. If there's a point back there, it doesn't have to be much. I mean, it doesn't have to be a big point, but just anything that makes an irregularity in the bank that you're fishing is going to be a good spot. Throw that crankbait or that jig on it and work it well. Work it from different angles, and most of the time I find I can catch the fish if I'm fishing at a 45-degree angle to the bank, make a good long cast ahead of me to the bank, and then work it back out to me until I find the depth that the fish are. If I can find a depth that where most of my bites are coming from, say I'm throwing up into 6 inches of water and I'm working the bait back out, and I get to anywhere from 5 to 7 foot deep, and that's where all my bites are coming from, is 5 to 7 foot deep. You can get up there and parallel the bank then at that depth. You can watch your graph and keep your boat into that 5 to 7, 8 foot depth and parallel the bank. Throw it straight in front of you as far as you can throw it, and that way you will have it at that depth for a longer amount of time. And if you can get a good long cast, you can bang that bottom for several feet before your bait comes back up. And if you're using like a rock crawler or something that's going to be diving 12, 15 foot deep, you can get it down to 5 to 8 foot of water in a hurry, and you can keep it there all the way back to the boat, and that's going to maximize the time that your bait is in the strike zone, and you will catch a lot more fish fishing that way. But the wind, like I said, the wind though, you want to be paying attention. If that wind's been blowing back in there for several days, then you're going to want to fish that area where the wind has been blowing for at least 3 days. Another thing to pay attention to is when you're fishing the wind, throw into the wind and bring your bait back, because that wind is making a little bit of a current. Where that wind's blowing is making a little bit of a current, and you want your bait coming with that current, just like if you're fishing a point on a river or a lake that's got a dam generating water, or they're letting water through a dam, or whatever is creating that current through there. You don't want to throw throw where the bait's coming against the current. You want it going with the current, because the fish is going to be positioned with their face into the current 99.9% of the time. That is what I've noticed. So always try to fish your bait with the current, and you seem to catch more fish. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today, was the wind. Get out there and fish the wind. Pay attention how many days it's been blowing in that direction, especially in this starting to get cold, getting cooler water. Fish some of those areas that I just talked about, where the deepest water meets the flats. Fish those areas. Fish that crankbait and jig and spinnerbait, and you will have some good luck fishing like that. So anyway, the kids is getting ready to get loaded up. You have a great weekend. Get out with your family and go fishing or hunting. Just get out into the outdoors. Enjoy yourselves. You have a blessed weekend, and if you like the content, please hit like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys out on the water.